Hey, what's up, everybody? Brendan Morse here for Red State. Dylan Mulvaney, known as the trans person who the mainstream media has embraced, so much so that he was sent to the White House to talk to Joe Biden, is now out here kind of doing a little confession, maybe a little opening up a little bit more about how he feels about the way that he's treated by other women. So much so, he went out and he decided to make a video directly addressing women on his TikTok. And we can kind of see it here. And I kind of want to do a live react to this because some of the stuff that he says it's supposed to come off as nice. It's supposed to come off as like a heart to heart with women. It's supposed to be like, trying to connect with them a little bit, clear the air a little bit. But you'll notice that there is some serious bitterness. And it gets so bad that at one point in time, Mulvaney threatens women at the very end of this spiel. And he also calls them transphobic. So I kind of wanted to do a little run on this and just kind of react to it with you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at what he has to say. And then at the end of this, I have a few comments about not just him, but the trans movement in general. Let's dive into this.
Day 271 of being a girl, or I'll say woman for this one, because this video is for the women on Twitter who just really don't like me. Hello, ladies. We got a lot to cover, but let's first talk tampons. I haven't talked about tampons on here lately because I don't use them. I'm a woman who doesn't have a uterus.
So then you're not a woman.
I know this, and science was my strongest subject in high school. I was also shockingly good at math, but I digress. I just sometimes carry one in case anybody needs it. And that seems to have just set the world on fire in some pretty nasty ways. And this is a conversation that's been going on for months. I just haven't chimed in because I'm so tired of sticking up for myself over something that was so pure intentioned. But now Twitter is just ablaze. And this week, there's some women that are now coming for Tampax, and I wanted to clear the air. So I have some amazing news. Are you ready? I have never worked with Tampax before. The most that happened was they sent me a few boxes of tampons back in April, just in case I bumped into anyone, including yourselves, and I gave them all away.
So this is nonsense, and I want to stop it here for just a second to discuss something. The reason that women in particular, got mad at Tampax is because Tampax started to recognize him as a woman. And women did not appreciate that at all. They do not like it when people do woman face and pretend that they are women because it makes a mockery of women is what this does. So Tampax sending him a box of tampons, it was pretty much them saying, hey, you're one of us, and all, men and women are interchangeable, trans men are women, or, whatever. And women didn't appreciate that. And that's why things blew up. It's the same reason that people blew up at the makeup store Sephora. They blew up at Sephora because they also took Dylan Mulvaney, and I'll link the video up here. You can see it now. They started treating Dylan Mulvaney like he was a woman, acknowledging that he was a woman, and he was sitting there saying, oh, I can be a mother one day. I can be this. I can be that. It's like, no, you can't. No, you can't. This is Mr. Science over here. Mr. Science was my best subject. Seemed to miss the whole lesson where he discovered that men cannot give birth and cannot be mothers. And that's why people are angry. He is trying to make himself something that he is not. And due to the social pressures of today's socio-political climate, women's brands are now also starting to include men into women's circles, into women's spaces. They're the same people that would make the argument that men belong in women's sports. And this is what is these are women's things. These are women's spaces. This is what is, this is a part of what being a woman is. This is not a woman. This man is not a woman. And they don't like watching these brands that they use regularly, that that are feminine products and stuff like that, cave to this idea that, oh, a man is a woman too.
I've got a few left, and this one's really going to blow your mind. I have never made $1 off of feminine hygiene products. So I hope that helps you sleep better at night, knowing that. And no need to bring Tampax into this. But the bigger problem at hand is that you feel me carrying a tampon around is a threat to you and your womanhood. How is someone doing something nice so repulsive to you?
Again, stop it for a second. Again, that's not what people were mad about. They weren't threatened by this. It's not a feeling of being threatened. It's being pushed out of your femininity. It's being pushed out of your womanhood so that politics can shove in men and make claims that are completely false. They take over your spaces as women. They shove women aside so they can put these, and then they wonder why women get mad.
Because listen to this. If a man, whether he was your boyfriend or your husband, could even be your gay best friend, kept a tampon for you at his house just in case you needed it, you'd gush over him. You would run to brunch on Sunday and tell all your gal pals that he's so thoughtful,
he's completely missing the point.
He cares and he listens. And then a trans woman does it, and all of a sudden I'm the reason that there's a tampon shortage. You know, it's not because I'm misogynistic, it's because you're transphobic.
Oh, okay. So this is what it all led to right there. This is what it all led to. Dylan Mulvaney is mad because he was rejected. He was the general populace rejected his claim that he was a woman. And now this is really what the message is. This is what he really wanted to say to people. He knows for a fact it wasn't women didn't feel threatened because he was carrying around tampons in his purse. That wasn't really what this was about. It was about a man trying to move into women's spaces and claim what is theirs. That's what this is about. And this is the entire video right here. This is really what he wanted to say. You're transphobic. You're transphobic. Nah, bro. It has nothing to do with transphobia. It has everything to do with claiming something that you have no right to claim. That's what this is. And it's anger and backlash over these feminine companies who make feminine products trying to help you along with it, betraying women in the process. Women aren't transphobic for disagreeing with Dylan Mulvaney. No one is.
You know, we got to work through this. And babe, caring for others, it's the bare minimum. You know, you might not like me, but I care about you.
Talking down to women.
I care about your feelings. I care about your opinion of me, which I'm really trying to get over.
So that was the first part. So here's the second part of the video. Pay attention to what he says at the end.
I'm jealous of you.
He starts out, you know, trying to get women to like him by saying like, oh, you know, I'm jealous of you. I want to be like you. But then pay attention to what he says after.
And the last thing I will say, and this will probably make you feel really good, is that I'm jealous of you. You know, I wish I was born in your body. I wish I had a uterus. You know, my sex assigned at birth was a biological male. Does that make you feel better hearing me say that? It's just not what God had in mind. So here I am. You know, there's probably a lot of women that you don't like to group yourself with, but they're still women. And so am I.
No, you're not.
And now it feels like high school, and it feels like you want me to experience the pain and trauma that you've had to endure as a girl. And the fact that here I am, you know, attempting to enjoy womanhood is incomprehensible to you. You know, whether it's that I carry tampons, or that I'm too feminine, or I call myself a girl, or that I'll never birth a child. Well, here's some more good news for you. I'm not enjoying my womanhood as much as I was. And my pain might be different than your pain, but it's very real. So if that was your goal, then congrats. But I'm still a woman, and I'm tired, and we don't have to be BFFs, and you don't have to follow me. Just please don't call the police on me if we bump into each other in the bathroom. You know, my only agenda is to try to find the will to wake up every day and find some ounce of happiness. And believe it or not, somehow I love you. And P.S., I am also very nervous for you just because hopefully soon transphobia won't be as tolerated online, but your tweets are forever and I don't want those to come back and haunt you. Okay? Bye.
What? That last part right there. That last part was clearly a threat. It was clearly a threat. Dylan Mulvaney just spent the last little bit of that whole spiel, effectively admitting that he is a man, effectively admitting that he does not have the parts, the necessary equipment to be a woman. And he admits, I'll never be pregnant or anything like that. Well, that's because you're a man. And he says, I'm not enjoying my womanhood as much as I was. Well, congratulations, bro. You're not a woman, so you don't have to worry about that. You never were experiencing womanhood from the very beginning. You weren't. Okay, but it's that very part at the end. And it was... I cannot believe that he actually said it, but then again, yes, I can, I guess. The fact that he said, transphobia will soon not be that tolerated online, but your tweets will be forever. Which is Dylan Mulvaney effectively saying something along the lines of, be nice to me, or it's going to bite you in the butt in the future. It's going to come back on you. Because some people are going to punish you somehow. We will be punished in some way, shape, or form for disagreeing or coming down on Dylan Mulvaney. That's really what this whole entire thing was about. It wasn't, Mulvaney trying to reach common ground with women. He wanted to call them transphobic, and then at the very end, he wanted to threaten them. That's pretty much what this boils down to. And it's for transgender activists, this is very common. It's very common. It's you obey me, you go along with what I say, and you agree with my claims, or it's your ass. These threats are not that uncommon. Here's the thing, man. Dylan Mulvaney, not a woman. Never was a woman. Will never be a woman. He is a man. He will always be a man. He can put on all the makeup and wigs and hair extensions that he wants to. He can wear dresses and Tampax and Sephora and the White House can call him a woman all day long. It does not make him a woman. He will never be a woman. He never earned being a woman. He wasn't born with the right equipment. He doesn't have the right chromosomes. He did not experience the trauma that many women go through as their bodies change and morph over time as they grow from girls into women. By the way, he says this is his days of girlhood, which I think is also kind of creepy. All right. He's not a girl. He's not a woman. He is a very sick and confused man. And he's a very sick and confused man that, like many activists, are threatening people. He is threatening specifically women that they better fall in line or they will be punished for their transphobia. Ladies, you are not transphobic. You're not. Okay, you are a woman, and you know what womanhood, you know what being a woman is like. You know what womanhood is. He doesn't, and it's good to call him out on that. Men should not be moving in on women's spaces. Women's spaces need to be kept women's spaces for a myriad of reasons. Just because some dude decides to start calling himself a woman and starts using feminine products does not and should not give him access to your women's spaces, your women's groups, your women's sports, nothing. The same should be also applying to women trying to get into men's sports. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot. Dylan Mulvaney is one of the most popular transgender activists out there. And no one should buy his little shtick here. His little, oh, ladies, let's have a heart-to-heart and understand each other a little bit more. It's all nonsense. No one should buy it. No one should give into this. Ever. Hey, like this, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.